What's up, comic fam? Welcome back to another episode of Comic Book Report Card, episode 2. Now, this is a brand new series, so I will go ahead and tell you guys a little bit about it. I'm going to talk about the books that I read every week, and I'm going to tell you if they make the grade or not. Did they pass? Did they fail? Is it worth picking up? Should you skip it? I'm going to talk about all that and more. It's going to be spoiler free. I'm not going to give anything away. So it's just going to give you the gist of the book without giving anything away. So spoiler free, no need to worry about that. And my grading scale, I'm actually going to put up on the screen right here, so you guys are aware how my grading scale is. It's pretty normal, A, B, C, D. Here in the States, it's a grading scale that we all should be used to. But anyways, we had a big first week this week. Ghost Machine dropped, along with a lot of other really cool titles. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it with the very first title that I'm going to go over. Geiger, issue 1. Geiger is back for a new #1 ongoing series. This was my most anticipated book for this week. I could not wait for this issue to come out. Geiger is one of my favorite characters in comics, has been for a few years now. Tariq Geiger, the glowing man. We're getting a new ongoing title. And this is by writer Jeff Johns. Artwork by Gary Frank. Cover art on this one by Gary Frank. Colorist Brad Anderson. This is by the Ghost Machine crew. And it's on the Image imprint. But we're getting a new ongoing series. And this was a fantastic first issue. The artwork was brilliant. This is probably the most developed character from Ghost Machine. We've seen the most out of this character so far, and I'm loving it. This is more good stuff. This was a great first issue, and one of the best reads this week. I was going back and forth over which were the best, and we'll find out later on this episode who I thought was the best out of these for the week. But I can tell you that this definitely made the grade. I'm going to give this a 96, so that's an A. And this was a definite pickup. And these Ghost Machine books, they were all just incredible, guys. So moving on to book 2. We got another book from Ghost Machine this week. This time it's Redcoat issue 1. This is more writing by Jeff Johns with artwork this time by Brian Hitch. And this cover A is a beautiful wraparound by Brian Hitch as well. I love this character. A bit of a douchebag, a bit of an asshole, but you love him at the same time. You're rooting for him. He's always getting beat up or killed. He stumbles upon this experiment this ritual, I should say, that's going on involving Benjamin Franklin and trying to become immortal. Well, anyways, it goes wrong, and this guy screws it up. He becomes immortal, and I'm not giving away anything about this book because this already played out in Geiger 80-Page Giant, in which Redcoat makes his first appearance and first cover appearance on one of the variant covers for that. And so I'm not giving away anything by saying that. This book is history influenced, but not in a boring way. So if you're not into history, don't let that mislead you and make you think that this is not going to be a book for you. Check this book out. All the Ghost Machine titles were phenomenal this week. And that's kind of giving it away a little bit for Rook Exodus, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But it's okay. It's okay because I think everybody has established how good these Ghost Machine books are already. But it's a must that I talk about Redcoat issue 1. This is another great book. Another A. I'm giving this one a 95. So I gave Geiger a 96. I'm giving this one a 95. Both solid A's. Both phenomenal. So we're going to move on to a different type of book next. Moving into some Marvel. All right, moving into some Marvel, we have Sensational She-Hulk issue 7. This is by writer Rainbow Rowell with artwork by I.G. Guerra and cover art by Jen Bartel on the A covers. Beautiful A covers. I've enjoyed collecting the She-Hulk run for a long time, pretty good while now, because Jen Bartel is absolutely killing these A covers. So just enjoying it. And this is a great cover this month. As far as the writing goes, Rainbow has been killing it as well. However, this issue, I didn't enjoy as much, honestly. She-Hulk and Jack of Hearts are in space. They're at this resort, this hotel, this fancy hotel with a full-service bar and everything. And they're having a good time. when this lady shows up by the name of Ganymede, 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 I believe. I hope I'm saying that correctly. But they run into this character by the name of Ganymede, and turns out Jack of Hearts had a relationship with this character, and they were in love at one time, or at least he had promised her, he had made vows to her because she saved his life at a certain point. And they actually really did have a background in Marvel Comics, and it tells you in one of the panels which issue of Silver Surfer that you can go back to find the story about those two. But anyways, Jack of Hearts made vows to her before She-Hulk and him, long before they ever had anything going on or whatever. And so She-Hulk, very emotional, after finding this out, leaves Jack to figure out what's going on with Ganymede, and what he's going to do. And so he has decisions to make. I don't know. I like this series a lot. This wasn't one of my favorite issues, though. I found myself being a little bit bored with that story. However, it did end with a little bit of action. The next issue, we should have She-Hulk actually taking on Ganymede, and we will see who is victorious. I don't know. This issue just lacked a little bit for me. So I'm going to score this an 81, and that's a C. So I like this series a lot. This week we got the return of Deadpool in a new ongoing series. This is Deadpool issue 1. And this was the Rob Liefeld variant, actually. But this is by writer Cody Ziegler with artwork by Roger Antonio. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Forgive me if I'm not. Like I said, with cover art by Liefeld. And there was also a beautiful cover by In-Hyuk Lee. So really cool covers for this. This has Deadpool on a mission to track down this guy who the guy he's hired to track down. He's either a tech master or a wizard of some sort, but Deadpool isn't sure. He wasn't paying attention during the mission briefing, so it's kind of funny. He's not sure exactly even who he's chasing down. He has this sidekick in this book, and it's a symbiote creature, and it's leftover. It's coming over from the last run, basically, and the creature. It's funny, he has a relationship with this symbiote creature like it's a daughter. It calls him Papa, and I don't know, whenever it would call him Papa throughout the book, I always heard, what's her name in Stranger Things, the way she said Papa. It was just kind of funny. But anyways, calls him Papa, and he kind of treats it as if it were his daughter, but he calls it his dog. So I don't know, I guess it's a pet. Anyways, it's a companion of his either way. And I didn't know how I would feel about Deadpool having a sidekick. However, I think I kind of like it. I think it's cool. I like this sidekick. He calls her Princess. So Princess, really funny. Part of the action, helping him fight, helping him take out the bad guys. Deadpools, that's what it's about. It's Deadpool doing Deadpool things. He breaks the fourth wall. He's funny. Cody Ziegler does a great job on the writing, so Deadpool is funny in this, and it doesn't feel forced. It was a pretty good story overall. I think I will continue with issue 2 just to see where it goes. If you're a Deadpool fan, for sure pick it up. Definitely pick this up. We got a new villain at the end. What was his name? Death Grip. Death Grip was his name. And it's like a magic-based villain. But once he finds out that Deadpool is immortal and can't die, he becomes a little bit infatuated with him. He needs him for something. So we're going to see more of this guy. And I don't know if it's going to end up being a villain to Deadpool or if he's going to try to work with him or what. We'll have to see. So I have a feeling he's going to pop back up later on. But Deadpool issue 1, this was a solid, good issue. And I'm not a super fan of Deadpool. I don't hate Deadpool. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. I like Deadpool. We'll just say that. I like Deadpool. So no bias or anything here, but this was good. This was really good. I'm going to give this an 83. So an 83 is a solid B. So we've had some pretty good books so far. Let's see what our next book will be. We're moving into some indies again, some massive publishing with Crashdown. This is issue number 3 by writers Tom Garcia and Ryan Sargent, who you may know as Comic Tom and Fire Guy Ryan. So this has artwork by Ben Templesmith. With this variant cover is actually a Tyler Kirkham variant cover, which I thought was very beautiful. I pre-ordered this. Issue 3 continues where issue 2 ended, with the horror element introduced, as there's something eating the people on this island, and pretty creepy. I liked where it was going. The story continues to be original and interesting, but at times the art just loses me. I want to like Ben Templesmith, and sometimes I do like the artwork, but then sometimes I just don't, and it just really throws me off. I don't know how I feel about it. I can't make up my mind about Ben Templesmith and the interior artwork to Crashdown. I know a good friend of mine is just not a fan of Templesmith and can't get past the artwork to read one of the stories. So some people just can't get past it for some reason. I'm trying to figure that out. I'm trying to figure it out. I know the story's pretty decent so far. I'm liking the story. I'm going to continue on to issue 4. This has been a pretty good story so far, especially from two guys who have never written a comic before. We're just pretty hardcore comic book fans, and doing the Comic Tom 101 YouTube channel. Big fans of comics, but had never written anything before. This is pretty impressive. They did a good job. Hats off to you guys. And it's the artwork. It's the artwork that gets me. I will stay on this run. I gave this a 75, which is a C-. Still good, still passing. I would have took that any day of the week in school, but I wasn't that good in school. Moving on to the next book. Now, the next book is Void Rivals. This is issue 8 on Image Skybound imprints. This is written by Robert Kirkman with art by Lorenzo De Felici, with cover art. All right, now the next book is Void Rivals, issue 8. This is an Image Skybound book. Another Energon Universe title. This is the one that kicked it all off, Void Rivals. This is by writer Robert Kirkman with art by Lorenzo De Felici. Cover art for this B cover is by Frangalon. So, this issue, we are following the two main characters on a journey to the midpoint. And they're low on food and supplies when they're attacked by this character named Proximus. And all-out battle ensues. This is an action-packed issue. I love this particular issue. Great battle scenes. One of my favorite issues in a while now. So with this series. So Void Rivals continues to be really good. I continue to stay interested in the series, and definitely going to continue on with it. I can't wait to see where the battle goes and where we're at in issue 9. Robert Kirkman's still doing a great job with the writing, still digging the interior artwork. I'm giving this an 88. So way better grade than I would have given issue 7, the last issue. So that's a solid B. Void Rivals has definitely made the grade and definitely worth picking up. On to the next book. The next book is X-Men issue 33. And this is Marvel Comics, of course. Writer Gary Duggan with art by Joshua Cassara. And this is cover A. Cover A artwork is by Joshua Cassara and Guru EFX. So, we follow Emma Frost, Wolverine, Shadowcat, Forge, Magic, Miss Marvel, Sync, and Cyclops in this issue. Face to face with Dr. Killian Devoe. They get aid from Dr. Doom in the form of the X-Men of Doom, which is really, really awesome. And along with the reinforcements that Doom sends, which, by the way, their names are Slag, Volta, and Nerium. And they are 3 really cool characters. I really dig them. They're actually on the cover here with the X-Men. And there's Slag right there. It's got like the volcanic ash looking, the glowing fists. But there's some cool, really cool characters on that cover there. But anyways, Doom sends his X-Men from Latveria to help them, and they take this dude out basically. And it was a pretty good issue. Some of this stuff, when you're following along, trying to, and I'm trying my best to follow along with all of the mutant Fall of X mutants versus Orcus. Trying my best to follow a lot of this. Some of this stuff is really, really complicated and really hard for me anyways to follow along. I don't know about you, but some of these are really hard for me to follow along with. However, this issue is not really hard to follow along. Pretty straightforward and to the point. And it was a pretty good issue as well. Overall, I liked it. If you're following and trying to stay up to date with this war, with the mutants and Orcus, there's some pretty big reveals in this book. You're going to want to pick this up for sure. Definitely don't skip on this if you're like me and you're trying to stay up to date with what's going on with the mutants. You need to grab this because Nimrod unveils some stuff to Cyclops in this. And I don't want to give anything away because, like I'm saying, this is spoiler free. I'm just trying to give you guys the gist of it, whether or not these books are worthy of picking up, whether or not they make the grade. And just trying to let you guys know if you should waste your money or not. And that's what it's about. I'm not trying to spoil it, but if you're following the X-Men or you're following mutants, you want to know what's going on, pick this up because there is some stuff that's revealed. Overall, this was a good issue. I gave this a 76, which is a solid C, passing grade. We haven't had any books that have failed so far this week. We've had some lower grades, some on the lower end, but no fails this week. So no definite absolute skips. So that is great. So let's move on to the next book and see what we got. All right, guys, the next one is Power Pack, Into the Storm. This is issue 4. We're up to issue 4 on this series. And this is by writer and actual original creator for the Power Pack, Louise Simonson, with artwork by June Brignan, who is an actual original artist for Power Pack, with cover art by June Brignan, Roy Richardson, and Nolan Woodard. So, really cool cover. I'm enjoying the covers a lot on this series. To get more original Power Pack from its creators is really, really cool to me. Thought that was awesome. That's why I pre-ordered this book. I don't know how many issues this is going. I think maybe 6 issues, but I am enjoying this so far. In this issue, it gets really good. In 2024, getting new original Power Pack, just awesome. The interior art is beautiful in this book. That's what really, really caught my attention. It's just how beautiful the interior art was and the interior artwork was in this book. It's a good story. The story was a lot of fun. We get guest appearances. Storm has appeared the last couple of issues. She appears in this issue, and she shows her capabilities, some of her power, and what she's capable of against the queen of these broods. And because we get broods show up, I think in the issue before last. It's a great story. They're trying to. Franklin Richards has been captured along with Kofi, one of their friends, and this creature is trying to harness Franklin Richards' powers. It's a really good story. It's really interesting, especially if you're into Power Pack. And so Storm and the Power Pack and Franklin in dream form are trying to get Franklin. They're trying to save them and recover them. So it was really good. I enjoyed this. This was way better than I even thought it would be. If you're a fan of Power Pack, I would highly suggest picking this up. I gave this an 86, which is a B-. This is one of the better books this week, and I didn't expect that at all. Kind of caught me off guard, which, I don't know. Should I have been surprised or not? Some amazing creators on this book. So maybe I shouldn't have been surprised. But anyways, moving on to another indie book, which actually did surprise me as well when I first picked up issue 1. I didn't expect to like this series because it's typically not the type of series that I would really get into. This is Crave. This is issue 5 now on Image Comics by writer Maria Lovett with artwork by Maria Lovett. Very talented person. It's been a pretty good series so far. This is the second to last issue. This is a 6-issue series. Total chaos has taken over this college campus due to the Crave app. This Crave app, everybody's been using it. It got really popular. However, everything is going to shit now. It's all hell's breaking loose. The school's on fire. The extinguishers have been emptied. I don't know. There's a lot of action, and then there's a lot happening, but then there's not a lot happening at the same time. I kind of feel like she could have done maybe a few extra pages and wrapped it up on issue 5 and did a 5-issue run. I don't know. Just for some reason, I kind of felt like this series could have been just maybe a double-sized issue 5 and wrap it up. But we're going to continue and just kind of drug things out a little bit. It shows some action, some consequences having to do with the Crave app, but that's what it showed the last issue. So it could have just combined that all into one issue, and then we got, I don't know, I just feel like maybe it's one issue too much, that it's being stretched out a little bit. And for that reason, even though I like this, I'm going to give it a 73, which is a D+, not a fail. If you're already on the series, of course, stick with it. But if you're not already reading this, maybe just wait for it to come out in trade, because this is a good series. This has been a good series overall. I would recommend picking up the trade if the price is fairly cheap, like a $15 buy-in or something like that. 15 or below for sure. Pick this up if you see it, because it's been pretty good. It surprised me. So 73 D+. Moving on to the next title. All right, our next title is a Marvel Comics book. This is the Immortal Thor. We're up to issue 9 now, by writer Al Ewing, with artwork by Ibram Robertson. The cover art on this series for cover A's have been Alex Ross, the legend. So kind of no excuse not for the series not to be amazing, right? But yet it's just been okay so far until this issue. And this issue, I feel like it got really, really good. So I'm hyped. This series just heated up. We got Scourge battling it out with Thor in this issue, and he's really holding his own. You get some good battle scenes. You got Enchantress shows up. Just a really action-packed issue. We got a cameo appearance from Roxxon Thor, Chad Hammer. So I'm looking forward to that Roxxon Thor issue that's coming out in a couple of weeks. There's actually a connecting cover. A cover B to this issue will connect to the cover B of the Roxxon Thor. So if you're into connecting covers, look out for those. So Todd Knott did a cover B for this. It's going to connect to the cover B for the Roxxon Thor, Chad Hammer, issue 1 in 2 weeks. So that's going to be really cool. But you don't get a full-on look at him except for like on the cover of the issue that's coming out in 2 weeks. But you get like his arm in one of the panels or something like that. So you do get like a little, I don't know if that would even be a cameo appearance, whatever you'd call it. But he's going to appear in the next issue for sure. So maybe some spec value in that next issue. This, Alex Ross knocked it out of the park. Not only did Al Ewing knock it out on his end, the interior artwork continues to be good. But Alex Ross really killed it on this one as well. This is my favorite cover for this, out of all the Alex Ross covers for this series so far. This is my favorite, and definite contender for cover of the week as well. So this was a great issue. Like I said, I gave this a 91. So my favorite issue of Immortal Thor so far. I hope they keep it up. This is good. Solid B. So moving on. Moving back to some indies. Oh, we're moving back into some indies with Can I Scream from Keen Spot Publishing. And this is by writer Jonathan Hedrick with artwork by Francesca Fantini. Cover by Francesca Fantini as well. And this is, if those names sound familiar, it's because you're probably familiar with both of them from several successful indie titles that they've been attached to. They've both drawn a lot of interest in their own ways. Jonathan, with the Recount and Dream Master and a bunch of titles, Quicksand, Capable, a lot of other really good titles. And Francesca, Rebel Girls, Stake, really good artwork on some really good titles. And I think this is their first title together ever, and they're husband and wife. So I thought that was pretty cool. Jonathan's a great guy. She's an amazing artist. And I wanted to see what would come of them doing a book together. And that's what you get with Can I Scream? This is about a boy and his son, a boy and his mother, actually. And this boy has the ability, when he screams, to basically just dismantle anything and anyone around the vicinity of the scream. And it's they're constantly on the run because he's having to he's being put in situations where he'll have to defend himself or his mother because they're not living in the best areas, or he's not going to the best school, getting bullied, and they're always in these situations where he ends up having to use it, and they're hiding out anyways, and so they're always on the run. He's always changing schools. The artwork pairs with the writing so beautifully, and the interior art is absolutely beautiful. Francesca's art is an absolute highlight in this book. I loved like the bar scene. Some of the scenes that she drew in the book were just beautiful, and Jonathan's writing is top notch. He's a writer that I've been a fan of for quite a while. So I had pre-ordered this title and wanted to make sure to check it out when I found out, that him and Francesca were doing it together. And they did not let me down. And going into this and just giving it a totally non-biased opinion, I would give this an 89, a solid B. And I highly recommend this. Jonathan has so many other good titles as well that are worth picking up. But definitely, if you see this one in shops, pick it up. Can I Scream? This is for now a one-shot, with potential to possibly get more. But for now, it's just a one-shot. But check this out. There's a beautiful B cover that's a hollow foil. And there's also a blank that is limited to like 140, 150 copies. That's pretty limited. So if you see it, grab it. And a lot of cool stuff you could get done with that. This was a great issue. I enjoyed it. 89B. So really good cover too. I like that cover a lot. And his power in the book is awesome. I'm probably not explaining it the best, but it's really cool to see how she illustrates his power being used. And an awesome book. Our last book, y'all. What's it gonna be? I guess it's going to be the only Ghost Machine book that I hadn't talked about yet, right? So, so far we haven't had any books fail this week. So it's been a good week in comics. I guess it's been a great week in comics if no books have failed. But last, but definitely not least, our third book from Ghost Machine this week. Another book by writer Jeff Johns. This time the art is by Jason Fabok with cover art as well by Jason Fabok. So, beautiful cover, beautiful wraparound cover for this cover A. Connecting cover for the cover B, and there was a blank. Pretty much the same for all three of the Ghost Machine books. This is not connected to the same universe as the other two. This is its own universe. I think from watching everybody else's reviews I've seen so far, I think the general consensus is that this is probably the favorites, just barely over the other two. But Geiger, I'm just biased to the character Geiger, honestly. But this book was phenomenal, y'all. The interior art blew me away. We saw a good chunk of this story in the Ghost Machine preview not too long ago, and I was blown away by that. And we got more in this issue. There's a character, Swine. I think his name's Swine. I think that's his name. I need to go back and look. But anyways, I really, really like that character a lot. I love the character designs in in this book. But man, it's just so awesome. I don't want to give anything away, but if you did not pick up Rook Exodus, I'm gonna call this the book of the week, and I'm gonna give it a 97, which is a solid A. Which is I think I gave Geiger a 96 and Redcoat a 95. So this is getting the highest grade of the week. This is getting book of the week. So that is my best non-biased grade that I can give. I actually rated this higher than my favorite character, Geiger. So this book's phenomenal. Jason Fabok killed it with the artwork. I mean, just absolutely killed it. And Jeff Johns, how can you be so talented? Anything that guy touches is just going to be good. So you can pretty much pick up anything that Jeff Johns is on, and it's probably going to be good. But anyways, that was the 12 books that we did for this week. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope that it helped you when you're going back to the comic shops with trying to figure out what is worth picking up. And by what's passed and what's failing on here. We didn't have any fails this week, so that's great. It's a great week in comic books, and you guys are great for watching this video and coming back to support me. I really appreciate it. And I will do one of these. I'll try to drop one of these every Friday, and we'll have a Comic Book Addicts live stream every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 4:30 p.m. Pacific for you West Coasters. And I hope you guys can come in and hang out with me. And till next time, peace.